And we've got the recording going. All right, everybody. My name is Nicholas Lyle. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to be with us. I know there's a lot of other things you could be doing. You could be watching one of the games. You could be spending time with your family. You could be out at the park. Many things you could be doing, but you decided you wanted to be here with us tonight. And we greatly appreciate that. Give us about 30 minutes of your time, just like the flyer says. We'll get through the presentation. So let me tell you a little bit about what you are in store for tonight. So about 8 months ago, ran into this gentleman through another program I was with. And they said, this guy has a really cool strategy for betting on sports. And I was like, oh, I've been betting on sports for probably about 20 years. I feel like I know everything that there is to know about this industry. It's not the easiest thing to do. It's like, you've got to see what he does. So I said, okay. So I watched some of these testimonials. And the thing that I noticed about these testimonials these were average, everyday people. You could tell they didn't know much about sports and they were showing their results. And I was like, this is too good to be true. It's like, there's no way that this person that doesn't even know what like a basic thing is, home or away, or, different basketball teams, baseball team, they didn't know anything. But what I saw was their results. I said, okay, there's something here. So I dug a little bit deeper, got into the program, paid a lot of money to be into that program to get access to the gentleman you're going to hear tonight. And in the last 8 months, he's absolutely changed my life. He has taken 20 years of me doing something one way and completely reprogrammed it to look at sports completely differently. And when I say that, he's like, we don't care who wins the game. He's like, and I was like, what do you mean we don't care who wins the game? He's like, just trust me. And then as I went through the process, it all started to make sense. And the one thing that I thought about is like, why didn't I think of this? It's like, how is it for the last 2 decades I did not even think of this? This is not something that just came. And because I know one of the questions is going to be, well, Nick, how long is this going to be good for? Is this going to be something that's here today, gone tomorrow? No. The person that I'm about to introduce you to has been doing this right out of high school. He's a little bit younger than me, so he's been doing it for 2 decades now. And he started by just doing it with himself and his family, some friends, and then over time, he was introduced to other places where he could expand that. And we've got a couple of guests on tonight that are going to give their testimonials about working with him. So without further ado, I'm going to get myself out of the way. And I'm going to introduce to you a man that has absolutely changed my life over the last 8 months and showed me things that I never knew was possible in this industry, Mr. Chad Gracie.
Wow,
You there,
thanks,
sir?
Nicholas. Thanks for that intro. Really good and nice to meet everybody. Just give a background about myself too. As Nicholas said, as good as I could probably say it, I've been betting for about 20 years. Um, I joined the same program Nicholas joined about 3 years ago, and basically got hired inside for data sheet stuff. And this was in the high ticket coaching industry. And so I knew I could make money in sports, right? This is something I've always done. I started teaching other people, close members and stuff like that. But I actually pitched this idea to someone that was charging quite a bit of money for a one-on-one program, right? And the coach that tried out his first month made $6,000. And the CEO of the company just thought, wow, let's give this a try, right? So it was pretty interesting and pretty a lot of pressure in a way because I didn't know if I could teach the average person that's never been on sports before. But I was always up for a challenge, and it really took off, right? So worked with thousands of people one on one, and then I met Nicholas. I was starting to kind of go on my own just to kind of branch this out and charge a lot less to try to get a big network of people, right? Once I had the results I could see and I could teach people, right? It's like, hey, this is the easiest side hustle in the world, right? I'm not a marketer. I'm just a person saying, hey, someone hear me, right? Someone help me out. So, with that being said, I worked with Nicholas and Dustin and we launched LGM. So, I've been betting for 20 years, been teaching this for probably the past 5 years. I've touched thousands of lives, made millions of dollars are generated for those people from the same process. If you're a current bettor, this is something probably completely different, right? We're not arbitrage betting or EV betting, but we're doing something with promotions. And kind of just to jump right into that, I'm going to show you kind of very high level of what we do, right? I mean, you heard enough about me and stuff, but let me just show you and try to help everybody understands what we have in store and kind of what we're teaching. I'm going to share my screen here and I'm going to pull up a slide deck called the Profit Loop. And this is just basically a five-step process, and this process is exactly the process that we use, right? So, if you never signed up for a sports book before, you would sign up for a sports book, and depending on the state you live in, you may have what they call as legal sports books, a FanDuel or DraftKings. You may be in California and only have global sports books, or you may be in Canada, and every province is a little bit different, right? So it doesn't really matter because it's all the same process, right? But just to make this really easy, a lot of the common questions I ask is, hey, can I do this? I never bet on sports before. And I'm going to basically walk through the process. I'm actually going to show you the steps of what we do. And then you can decide if this is for you. But really, if you can sign up for a sports book and follow a few steps, I think anybody can make money from this process. So step one is to get a bonus, right? We would just deposit money into a sports book. They're going to give us a bonus, whether it's cash or free play, right? If it's a cash bonus, it's just that. I put $200 in a sports book. I now have $400 cash, right? If it's free play, if you've ever been to a casino on your birthday and they give you $10 of slot machine free play or anything like that, it's just free money, right? But if they give us free play, we actually know how to convert that free play to real cash, right? So let's say, we had basically $200 of free play inside our sports book. We're gonna convert that to roughly $140 cash with the promo converter tool we use, right? So we already know how much we're gonna make before we even deposit into these sports books, which is kind of wild, right? We're betting on sports, but we're also, betting in a way where we're hedging our bet, right? So step three is complete the rollover. When you deposit into these sports books, they do give you free money or house money, but you can't just cash out, right? That'd be too easy. So these sports books have what they call as rollover, right? And basically, we use a low hold tool where we would place hedge bets in a way where we're just betting both sides of a game, right? So, for example, if you never watched sports before, you may have heard of the Detroit Lions or the Green Bay Packers, right? But if not, we'll just think it as team A and team B, right? So if you were to place a wager on team A or the Lions in one sports book, and then team B or the Packers in another sports book on one team to win, you just would place, the Lions in the other in one sports book and the Packers in another, and basically one team has to win, right? So you'd win in one sports book and lose in the other, right? So we're basically just placing hedge bets so that money is winning in some accounts and losing in others to get through these playthrough requirements, right? So just to recap that, step one, get a bonus. Step two, if it's cash, you don't do anything, you just go right to the low hold page. If you have free play, we convert it, right? Once you hit that rollover amount, basically you're going to withdraw the money from the sports books and do it again, right? So the thought is, hey, you're going to inject, start with 4 to 6 sports books, take a bunch of bonuses, and basically place wagers in a way we're not gambling. We're just hedging our bet, right? So that's basically a high level overview, but it is that simple from the process, right? And what I'm going to do is actually show you just how to make money. We can actually do this live right now, right? I load up this sports book, JustBet, before this call just to show this. And basically, I put some money in and they gave me some free play, right? So what we do with this free play, as I mentioned, is we're going to convert that to cash, right? So we have a tool that we use, it's called LGM. And in the global books, we basically look for different odds and we use this calculator to show us our profit and the correct bet size to make. So I'm going to pick a game and we can pick the Philadelphia 76ers. Um, that game's not on for a while. So with free play, we always bet this on plus odds, right? You'll learn that in the community, but basically this line's a plus 246. So I'm just going to go to this calculator and type in 246 here. And I'm going to go to another sports book, right? Again, on this particular bet, I'm going to take the 76ers in this sports book with my free money. And then in another sports book, I'm going to take the New York Knicks, right? So I am logged in this account and I'm going to go find the NBA game. And they happen to have it on their main screen right here, right? So if I click here, I'm going to go to my calculator. I just got to see how much money I have into here. I have $301 in my account. So I have $400 of free play. I'm just going to, actually already pre-did this, input the odds where I can basically wager the full amount. So I'm just going to update it so I can show this. This will work fine. So I'm going to, again, I deposit in the sports book and they gave me free play, right? What the calculator is telling me is to bet $165 of my free play on this plus 246 line, right? So that's why I picked the Philadelphia 76ers. And then it's telling me to place a $300 hedge bet right here on this minus 280. And what this is going to do is give me a profit, regardless of who wins, of $106, right? And I'm going to show this. So if I bet $300, $301 of cash, and I place this wager, I'm going to make $107, right? So I'll place the bet. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I just timed out. It's got to log back in. Apologize. All right. Pull in the bet slip here. 301, place bet. There we go. Okay. So I just placed a cash bet there. I'm just going to go back and double check this. So I'm going to bet $165 of free play. So just going to lower this, put 165 here, free play. Just double check my line, 246, 247. We're close enough. We're good. So what's going to happen is if I win this free play bet, right, I would win $407. I would lose my cash bet here of $300, but the difference of that is $107, right? Here, if the Knicks win, which they're favorite to win, but I bet $300 of cash. If this bet wins, I get my cash bet back, plus I win $107, right? So right there, in a matter of 2 minutes, I just made $107, right? So pretty easy. You know what? Let's just walk through one more just to kind of show that again, right? So I'm just going to grab a baseball game. Again, I deposit in this sports book, so I have $575 of free play. This sports book has a little bit different odds, so I'm just going to go to baseball, and they tend to work out pretty good here. And I'm just going to pick, here, this White Sox game will work, right? So again, I'm just picking this game. Inside the community, you'll understand kind of what we're looking at, but we're just looking at the plus odds of this baseball game. I'm going to go to the calculator, and now I have $575 of free play, right? So I'm just going to match up the odds of the game that I chose, a plus 131. And again, this is a real life example of what you'll be doing. And here I have to go back and find the other bet, right? So that was a baseball bet. I'm going to go to game lines. Let me just double check who I'm betting on. So I took the White Sox in this sports book. I'm going to take the opposite team, who's the Los Angeles Angels in this sports book. So that line's a minus 150, okay?
Go Angels, by the way. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like to win it here too and lose that adjust bet. So good call there. But let's see. Here we go. So hedge line's a minus 150. So we're betting $575 of free play in bet us, right? And I don't know if I have enough money to cover everything in just bet, but we'll make it close. So it's telling me to hedge 451. I only have 440 in there. So we'll just make it that'll work. Yeah. So I'm going to wager $560 of free play, right? And what it's telling me is that off this amount, I should make $293, right? So I'm going to go here. I'm going to type in 575 on my free play, place the bet. All right, cool. It's in there. And now I'm going to go here. I'm on the Angels, 442. I'm just going to bet my full balance, place the bet. So let's just do some math here. So I bet $575 of free money, right? So I'll just get my calculator out. But basically, the total payout for this wager with the free play would be $753, right? So at just bet here, basically I would lose my cash bet of 442, but I would profit 311, right? Flip side, if my cash bet loses here, I'm going to make $294, right? From conversion. So regardless of the outcome, I make it about 294, give or take. So within a span of a couple of minutes, and just if you load up the sports books, it takes some time, but made roughly $400 by just converting the free plays. So I don't expect anybody to remember what I just went through, but just showing you kind of hey, we're looking at two different sports books and we're placing these hedge bets, right? We get house money. And basically, you could just be done for the day. You just convert your free play, game's got to play out. Then basically, we use the tools of OddsJam to place a bunch of low hold bets. And what's cool about this is it scrapes all the data for you, right? So this is a spitting image of kind of like what you would be doing. It's the same concept, right? We're just placing a money line bet right here. You could bet $50 on this side, 64 here. One game's going to win, one game's going to lose, right? So just want to give that overall image of that. And again, for anybody that's brand new, when you come into the community, you're going to get started with either stateside books, global sports books. And I've seen a lot of folks from Canada too. So I made a separate module to make it very easy to get started inside the community. So,
Awesome. Thank you very
yeah,
much, Chad.
no problem.
That's awesome. So, let me go ahead and get myself on the screen here. So, what we're going to do now, we're going to transition a little bit. I'm going to bring on another guest. You've probably never seen him in your life. I don't even know if he has any marketing experience or not. But let me see. Anybody know who this guy is? No. No, I'm just playing. All right. So you guys already know who he is. This is Dustin Mansell from Las Vegas, Nevada. So let me just give a little bit of background. So when me and Chad were working on this idea, I said, Chad, I said, Dustin and his kids are working on the sports betting app, and we have the sports betting education. I think it would be good to work together. So I introduced Chad to Dustin. They got on a call. They had so much things in common. They both love golfing. They both love fishing. So I said, okay, this is cool. So Dustin's like, I like what you guys have. Let me know how I can help. I want to be a part of this and stuff. I said, this is great. So, like I said, we had two different kind of sports projects working, brought them together. So what Dustin's going to do, he's going to take some time, tell you his story a little bit for those of you that might not know him, and then he's going to get into different ways you can make money with LGM. Floor is yours, sir.
Cool, man. Thanks, guys. So I am Dustin Mansell from Las Vegas, Nevada, and everything he said is true. And everything that Chad said is true as well. I jumped in and started right away. My bankroll was $2,000. I made $4,000 in 4 weeks, so $1,000 a week, and pretty much doing that consistently right now. The same thing. And really, the past 2.5 weeks, I haven't really been able to do much with it. And the first 2 weeks, I didn't do much either, right? You can do it a little bit more to make it to roll over a little bit quicker. There's different things you could do. I know some people who have seen this for the first time with Chad. I know you're feeling what I was feeling, going, okay, this is cool. I want to learn it, but you're not gonna, right away. It's just not going to click, right? Took me about a day and a half to make it where it click. Now I still have to go into the school, which is amazing. Chad, I don't know how you do it, by the way. Literally, people will put something in the school, and instantly, like 5 minutes later, if that, Chad replies right away. It's just absolutely amazing. So it can definitely be done. We have a lot of people in this right now in our community that don't even know what sports is. Stay-at-home moms, and maybe they know what sports are, but they don't know what betting is, right? And they jump in and they learn it. It's just a it's all it is a strategy that you learn, and you can make a little bit extra cash as well. Okay, so as Nick said, he paid, I think, $15,000. I think is what his price was. Whatever it was, 4 or 5 months ago. And there's other people I know that definitely have paid $5,000, $10,000 just for some coaching with Chad as well to learn this strategy. And so when they came to me, I was like, well, that's too much. It is. We can't do that. And also, we need to make sure that people can get paid to share it, right? I'm all about people sharing something that actually works, that anybody could do. You don't have to speak to any soul whatsoever. You could wake up in the morning, not talk to anyone all day long, and still do this every single day. All right. Now, can you get paid to share it? 100%. We got over 150 people on this call right now. That's because a lot of people invited you here because they want you to, one, make some money, and plus they're going to get a little bit of money to share it as well. So pricing to get started with this, ladies and gentlemen, isn't $15,000. It's $997. One-time fee, it's a setup fee. If you pay with crypto, it's $897. You get $100 off. Then every month there's a $197 monthly fee that includes all the stuff that's in the back office, access to school, access to Nick and I were on just before this call. We had some questions. We actually had to hit up Chat on our own, which we should have went to school, but we didn't. But and Nick's been doing this for 8 months, right? So there's different things that happens to where we need the school to help us through this whole entire process as well. So super simple, $997 to get started. Get about $2,000 bankroll, make anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 profit. If it was me, I would just take the 2,000 bankroll I started with, put it in my pocket, and then go with house money and just keep going from there. All right. But you also get paid to share this. Anybody who comes in with you, you're going to get paid $250 directly to you. If you sign up 3 people within the first 30 days, you are going to get $997. So you're going to get the 750 for the 3 people. We're going to give you guys a rebate also for 247 bucks. Simple. Help change 3 people's lives, make a little bit more money in their pockets every month, something they could learn, anybody could learn, and you get your setup fee back. Simple stuff, right? There's a $199 affiliate license that comes if you know what I do. I create marketing pages, landing pages, follow-up emails. I just create funnels, all about automation. Okay. It's $199 to be an affiliate, but if you sign up 5 people within 60 days, or you sign up one person, like say you brought in Tharp and Tharp brought in 4 other people, that's a total of 5 people underneath you, then you get that $199 fee back. What we had a lot when we first started this was, hey, Dustin, can you just waive the fee for me? I'm going to bring in 10 people, right? Okay, cool. We're not going to waive the fee anymore. Once you bring in 10 people or 5 people, you get it back, right? And you don't have to pay that anymore at all, the affiliate license. There's also 5 levels deep. So you can get paid 5 levels deep. So all the way down to 5 levels, people are bringing people in. You're going to get a chunk of that startup fee too. You're also going to get paid some from the monthly 5 levels deep as well once you get there. Now it's not a big ordeal to get there. You basically bring in 2 people and you or 3 people, you've unlocked the whole entire down 5 levels. That's it. 3 people in all 5 levels you have unlocked in your whole entire team. Plus, there is a bonus pool that a certain amount of money comes into the bonus pool every month. At the end of the month, depending on how many shares that you have, you get some of the bonus pool as well. If that bonus pool gets up to 100,000 or a million, whatever the case may be, those bonus shares are going to get they're going to get pretty high, and you're going to make some extra money doing that too. My dog's walking around the back, and that's really it. Like we made the comp plan so easy because you could go make money without even sharing it with anyone, right? But we have some huge leaders. I can see the names here right now, just in the chat that have a massive following and they want to change people's lives as well. And we've done that for you too. But ladies and gentlemen, when you pull up to a light and you can look at every single person that's driving that's over 18 or 21 in some states and know that what you have to offer, they could use and make an extra $4,000 to $5,000 a month, you know you struck gold. And I truly, truly believe that here we have struck gold. And I think we're going to pass this over to Tharp after this, who's going to be the first guy that I introduce this to couple months ago, and Tharps, you're going to see the excitement from him because it's absolutely crazy. I know his background's all cool and he has a better haircut than mine and big old muscles and stuff, but oh my God, just you go for it, Tharp. I don't want to take your thunder. Talk about it a little bit, brother.
All right, sounds good. Well, I just want to start off by saying what I love about LGM is everyone is winning. So those of you that have already joined LGM, drop your favorite emoji in the chat, drop a heart, drop a fire, drop a money bag, because this is truly the first opportunity I've been in where I'm seeing everybody winning. I was a teacher for 17 years. I was able to retire in 2020 thanks to network marketing. And I've, been in a couple businesses. And of course, most of the time, in order to make money, you have to share it with people, right? You got to build. A lot of people don't like doing that. They're scared of rejection, whatever it is. They can't find a network of people that want to join with them. And that's why I love this, is that everyone can win. You don't need to share. If you do want to share, you can make, even extra money. But the fact that everyone is winning, right, just makes it so much more fun, right? Literally, your pitch to this is, hey, do you want to have lots of fun and make money and you don't have to tell anyone else about it? That's about it right there, right? So, guys, I just want you to make sure you wrap your head around what you just saw Chad do. Okay. He wasn't like trading and got lucky because he, bought Google and it went up a certain day, right? What he did there is what I do every day, is what Dustin does every day, is what Doug does every day, is what Brad, all the people on our team. This is it. What he just did is repeatable. And like the guy said, if you're new to all this, you were probably like, I have no idea what he just did. That looked complicated, over, under, odds. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, we, take care of all that. We've helped people who have no idea about sports. So don't worry about that. That's the whole reason we have LGM, right? Because what he just showed you might not make sense to you right now. The second thing that I love about this is you are your own boss. Nobody but you is limiting you on how much money you can make with this. If you just want to spend 10 to 15 minutes a day, maybe make an extra 2 to 3 grand a month, you can. If you want to spend maybe 30 minutes a day doing it, make 5 to 7 grand a month, you can. If you really want to hunker down, spend, maybe an hour or so a day doing it to try to make 10 grand a month, you can do that, right? I had a blast Friday night with some friends going out on the town. I didn't put any bets in on Saturday. It's okay. I didn't make any money that day, but I made a bunch on Friday and I made a bunch on Sunday and I made a bunch on Monday. So it's totally up to you. You are your own boss. And again, we want to be very clear. This is not for lazy people, right? This is not some passive income. Give us your money. We're going to give you 1% a day or some crazy thing like that. You will have to learn this skill, right? It will take some dedication. It will take some discipline. But once you get the process down, I say it's like learning to drive a car. When you were 16 or 18 and you start driving a car, you're worried about everything, your turn signal, your gas. You can't even take a corner. But after a few weeks, you have no problem. You don't even think about it. You're just driving down the road, listening to music, eating some Taco Bell, drinking your Coke, right? That's the way it is with LGM. We're here to help and support everyone. That's the last thing I want to say is just it's an amazing community. Chad is always going out of his way to message us or help us and support us, and then other people add in the school. So as long as you are willing to commit to learning the process, you will have success. We are here to give you the tools that you need. And like I said, guys, we're just having fun. We're making money. I love seeing everybody on the team winning. It's easy to share if you do want to do it. If you don't want to talk to anyone and keep it to yourself, you can do that too and make money every day, every week. So thank you for putting this together again, guys. Chad and Nick and Dustin let me early access. Last thing I'll say is the longevity here, right? I'm not dependent on a company anymore, right? Or if LGM just cuts off their comp plan, I'm fine, right? Because I've learned from the community, I've learned from Chad how to have this skill set that allows me to make profit every day, no matter what. So thank you guys again, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Michael, one question for you. So when you started, obviously skeptical, right? How much has your confidence have raised in the several weeks that you've been doing this?
Well, believe it or not, I had a pretty good view of Dustin Manziel. So I kind of knew when he told me how it worked and, what he had experienced from it. I'd say I was like 80%. I was like, yeah, I think this will work. My first big question was like, does this have longevity? Is this like something I'm going to join? And in 2 or 3 months, these bonuses dry up and then I can't, make any more profit. Dustin is like, no, that's not how it works. I talked to Chad. He kind of explained how this is built for long term. But I mean, dude, it was like within 2 days, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. I got lucky when I joined. FanDuel had a really good bonus. So I kind of got to really start off really well. I think I made like 6 grand in less than 2 weeks because the bonuses were just amazing for March Madness. So you can still, make it's not probably not going to be that much. I just kind of got lucky. But yeah, I mean now, it's a couple grand a week is easy, like not even trying hard. And again, that's not even talking about getting paid to share this. That's literally just you know, me placing my bets every day and just keep on winning, baby.
So last question, very simple question. Do you have people on your team that don't know anything about sports that are making money with this right now?
Oh yeah, 100%. I would say a majority of my team were people that had never bet on sports, rarely watch sports. They don't know what an over is, an under. They didn't understand odds. So yeah, a majority, and Chad kind of talks about this too, is that sometimes it's easier to train people who don't have any idea about what they're doing because they don't have that mindset already set on like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I know that this team's gonna win tonight and I'm just gonna bet on them, right? All that gambling, all that risk is taken off. And I've actually found like a lot of the guys I know that like to gamble, they kind of don't like this because the whole thing about gambling is like the unknown of like, I could lose, I could win. There's none of that here. Like, you are going to win if you follow the process.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Michael. I appreciate your time and everything you do for this community.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
All right. So next, I have another guest. So he's been doing this for longer than probably anybody here apart from me. So he's one of my friends. So I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, Brett, I have found a way that we can buy more Pokemon cards." And he said, "Say less, I'm in." And that was pretty much the extent of the conversation. So he comes from the same group that where Chad and I met. So I told him about this, and he's like, "That sounds great." So I introduced him to Chad. The rest is history. Chad took him under his wing. So Brett, can you tell a little bit about your story? Tell a little bit about yourself and stuff, and how this has come into your life and what has it done for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, so it was last year I joined MLP, which is kind of like a group that teaches you how to buy and sell great sports cards, Pokemon cards. Really enjoyed that. I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I was kind of looking for different avenue streams that I could do on the side with the kids. And Nick and I, we met through that group, kind of talked about Pokemon stuff and whatnot. And I kind of heard about the sports betting stuff, here and there. And Nick was like, "Hey, man, you gotta look into this," and introduced me to Chad. And Chad used to dabble in Pokemon as well. I think he still does, but we kind of hit it off on that. And so I've been doing this for about six or 7 months now. And I've always been into sports, but I've never bet. Was always kind of against betting. Just I know it can, it's just not a good thing to get into. But always been into sports, watched football, basketball, and yeah, Chad kind of showed me how the process worked. And he's been an incredible mentor, incredible teacher. And first couple weeks, my head was spinning, just trying to get, all the kind of figure out how the system works. Um, but fast forward to now, it's been amazing. Like right when the call started, I jumped on. I had $500 in free play to convert in one book. So I put a wager on the Timberwolves game and converted that to 65%. So I made $325 just sitting here in about 2 minutes, real quick on that game. And then last month, just kind of real numbers. I was gone for a week in Disneyland, but last month I made $3,400 profit. And that's just kind of just with the kids doing it here and there throughout the day. Yeah, but the system completely works. Like I would just jump in. Chad always says you have to get in and do it to understand it, and that's so true. It's kind of like riding a bike. It is really simple. You do the same thing over and over again every day. But you just got to, jump in, trust the process, trust the system, learn from, the guys that have been doing it for a while. And it totally works. It's pretty insane. I always tell my wife it's kind of like printing money. It's pretty wild. So, yeah, and I was one of those guys that paid $5,000 to learn this, and I would pay it again. So, getting in at the price, that you guys are getting now is incredible. So definitely jump in, just trust it. Yeah, and I really appreciate Chad and Nick for everything they've done for me and teaching me this stuff. It's really been cool. So
Thanks, Brett. I really appreciate your time. All
yeah.
right, everybody, we've got one more testimonial. And this is a man that I just met recently, and he has absolutely blown it up. I can't believe how quickly he gravitated towards this. And I mean, he's just been off and running. Like, I'm not, you know what? I'm just going to get myself out of the way. Brad, tell your story, where you're from, your background. People need to know who you are, what you do, and then, let them know how all this has come into your life.
Appreciate it, Nick. Yeah, born and raised St. Louis, Missouri, here now, retired vet. I see a bunch of people in the chat or the participants. We all run in the same circle, right? Network marketing. I got introduced to it years and years ago, jumping from pills to potions to lotions to now it's AI and crypto and bots, and trading. But yeah, Michael Tharp, met him through another opportunity. He reached out to me and said, I got something you should take a look at. I looked at it. I saw that it was $1,000. You know, you see that big price point. You're like, oh man, another one of those. How's it gonna go? How's it gonna go? And I looked a little more into it, did my due diligence as we all do, and it just made sense, right? I just trusted the process because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I got introduced to Chad, I got introduced to Nick and Dustin from other opportunities, but Chad, you know, laying down the foundation. And I'm a sports bettor. I love betting sports, but I'm also a sports loser, as 99% of people are. And we go back for the high. So this was kind of right in my wheelhouse just because I understood it. But even at that point, can y'all still hear me? Yeah.
You're good.
Okay. Okay. Good. That when I jumped into this, I was like, it was racking my brain, you know, because I understand betting and lines and stuff, but it's just a learning curve. And it doesn't matter if you're a stay-at-home mom or whatever, you're putting self limitations on yourself. It doesn't matter. If Chad can learn it, I can learn it, and you can learn it. So you have to literally get in there. It took me like a couple hours to go through it, but my comprehension level is not the best. So I have to watch it over and over. And that's what it takes. There's some team members on here who I've talked to, and you know they're slightly overwhelmed, and that's normal. Nervousness is good. That means you care. That means you want to learn. But going to college on day one and getting a syllabus and then yelling at the professor, I don't know anything about this. Well, you're new. Give it a couple of days, right? It might take you a week or two, like Brett said. It take you a couple of weeks, and then look at them now. I mean, just casually pulling in 3-4 grand. And that's the beautiful thing of this is it's just a simple tool, right? That OGM calculator, I think it's like the fountain of youth, you know. And again, I when I first saw it, it just was like, oh my gosh, what is this? Numbers, I got to do what? And now I get up. I've put 3 grand in. I'm already up 3,300 in 2 weeks. And it's just a simple process. You're just getting the promo bets, you're converting them, you're doing the low hold bet so you can move the money if you need rollover necessity, and then you go into another book. And it's all predicated on really how much you're willing to put into this to start, get those bonuses rolling, and then repeat the process. So super excited for it. I have brought in 9 people. I have another 10 on the way. And I didn't even think I didn't want to share this at first. I'm like, I don't know, but people are just coming to the Zooms and you guys are doing the heavy lifting. So I appreciate it. Appreciate the community. The school community is worth everything. Chad, everybody's been great. Chad just hops on real quick, answers questions. So appreciate it. And we'll turn it back to you guys.
Amazing.
Thank you, Bradley. Appreciate it.
Amazing stuff.
All right, guys. So that concludes what we had